very well may regret this. Woo! Hey guys, it's Alec coming to you with another video, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In front of me, I have the star of our show today, the Richardson Performance Stage 2 10R80, and we're going to be installing that in my 2020 F-150 Coyote 5-liter V8. If you've been following me for a little while, I did mention before that I had Scott Richardson over at Richardson Performance build my 10R80 for me. Out of the choices between RSA, Midnight, and Scott at Richardson, he seemed like the most stand-up guy, the most honest guy. He had the transmission that I wanted, and he was able to turn it around really quickly. Behind me is my 2020 regular cab short bed F-150. It's 4-wheel drive, and we're gonna be shoving this guy in it because we got two spinny things to throw inside of the truck, and of course we need a transmission to hold that power. So today we're going to be pulling the stock transmission out of the truck. We're going to replace it with this, and then we're going to go for a drive afterwards. We're going to have my tuner make some changes for the transmission. Since this truck's NA right now, we'll have him pretty much pull all the torque management out and make this thing shift the way it should. And I'll give you some first impressions on what I think about my Richardson Performance transmission. All right, so let's just give you a little overview. Now, I will admit, this is a core transmission. I bought this off Marketplace for $500 because I fully intend on taking the stock transmission out of the truck and selling it as a good used unit on eBay or something like that. You can see here, this thing's a little bit rough on the outside, but what's on the inside is really what matters. We got the Richardson Stage 2. He doesn't really do anything fancy to the outside. You can see it is for me. And here's the date that it was built. So I think Scott needs a little bit more official tags to say that they're built by him aside from the Sharpie. But hey, whatever works for him is what works for him. Today we are going to be pulling the transmission out. I kind of got started on this already because I was getting a little antsy. We got the Y-pipe out, sway bar down, front drive shaft out, rear drive shaft out, and we're just working on getting the transfer case separated. I will say the O2 sensors are a huge pain in the butt. We're gonna move on, get the transfer case separated next, and then we're gonna pull the starter, pull torque converter bolts, and get the lines disconnected for the oil cooler, and then we will get this guy pulled out of here. I also do want to mention the fact that in today's video, or for today, I'm going to be using my stock converter just because I don't really know what converter I want to go with when we put the twin turbos on this thing. We are eventually going to do a Circle D torque converter. I just don't know what stall, what size. I do fully intend on running the truck at least for half of this season with the stock converter in the truck, and then we will throw an aftermarket converter in it either this year or for next season. I'm not exactly sure on that. So we're gonna get back to work, pull the transfer case transmission out, and then we're gonna get our Richardson Performance stabbed in there. Transfer case out. Dale and I manhandled that thing. What'd you think of that?
That's pretty easy.
It wasn't too bad. And then we got everything disconnected. Almost all the bell housing, we got 2 bell housing bolts in, all the converter bolts are out. These have 4 converter bolts instead of 3, which is weird coming from the LS world. And then there's also, you don't pull the starter to get converter bolts out. You actually get them from the driver's side, which is also very strange. We got 2 bolts in. We're gonna ratchet strap this guy to the jack. We're gonna yank this sucker out. Hope that it doesn't fall. Because Bailey and I have dropped transmissions before, so yeah. All right, this is officially Coyote transmission pulling, also known as chiropractor appointment on Monday. So here we are. Here is our transmission that's going to go in. Here's our old one. Everything is still warm. The body has not even rested yet. Old transmission. Torque converter, got that off. Dale got to experience the douche LaRouche from the torque converter, pulling that. And you can see on the floor, we had a shower of transmission fluid, but this is what we're gonna call it for today. Tomorrow we're going to fill a torque converter back up and slam that puppy in the truck. And hopefully I got Dale's helping hands again, because it's kind of hard to do by yourself, especially that transfer case. So see you in a minute. Alrighty guys, we're back for day 2. The shop is freaking full this morning. So we gotta do some reorganizing, and then we're gonna get the torque converter filled up with fluid, get it thrown on the new trans, slide that puppy in. All right guys, just checking back in with you. We have all the torque converter bolts tight. We have all the bell housing bolts tight. Transmission is in its final resting home. And for today, we are going to be using the factory coolant to transmission oil cooler, just because we have the hard lines, everything's gonna work. And today, the truck's still NA, so it doesn't really matter. We're not gonna overheat this transmission, but in the future, when we have the twin turbo kit on the truck, we're gonna be making a lot of power, and a lot of power means we're gonna be making a lot of heat. So I'm gonna make a custom transmission cooler setup with a big 40K Mishimoto. And so you can look forward to a video of that in the future. We're gonna use a Pro Touring Store adapter, so it takes off these hard lines and it makes it so that you can put 8AN lines on the transmission and make your own transmission cooler setup. So I'll show a photo of what that adapter looks like right here, but we're gonna pick one of those up, pick up a Mishimoto cooler, and I will make a separate video on that. Going forward here, we're gonna get the transfer case thrown into the truck. Got our little Milwaukee battery, a little pump. Man, we're necked down a little bit on the suction side, so I need to get a bigger hose for that. If we had this on that side, it'd probably be done already. But all right guys, here we are underneath the truck. As you can see, everything is back in its home. We got the drive shaft in, transfer cases in, exhaust is all bolted up, cross members in, sway bars in, and we have about 10 quarts of fluid in it. So we're gonna have to, of course, check that once we get the transmission hot. And we also need to reprogram this thing for the new valve body that it has in it. So I don't remember if I mentioned, but because this was a core transmission, it actually came out of like a 2021 or a 2022. So we need to program the truck to the valve body. We're gonna use Forescan to do that. And then we have to reset our adaptives. So I'm gonna show you that real quick, and then we'll get this thing fired up and start moving it around and check fluid levels. I did want to mention as well, the likelihood of you needing this information is slim, but my transmission that Scott built actually came out of a 14th generation 2021 plus truck. And so those trucks have this weird feature where if you open the door while the truck is in gear, then it automatically puts the truck back in park. They call it hydraulic park. So literally the column shifter or the center console shifter will literally move back to its park position, and that has to do with all the stuff here. So this is these are a lot of the parts with the hydraulic park. So he switched that all out for me, and then there's the internal wiring harness, which is a little bit different for the trucks with hydraulic park. So the likelihood of you needing this is slim, but if you're looking for core transmissions, there are some differences between the 13th generation and the 14th generation. And if you need parts to convert yours to hydraulic park, I have all of them, so let me know. Alrighty guys, here we are in the truck with Forescan hooked up, and so we got connected to the vehicle, and we are underneath this like microchip looking guy, and we updated the vehicle strategy code, which you need to do when you put a unknown transmission in, and then also we go over to service procedures here, and we cleared our transmission adaptive tables. If you need any more information on this, there's a really good like 3 or 4 minute YouTube video that I'll link in the comments below. That shows you how to do this stuff a little bit more in depth, but got that done, and now we can officially start the truck up. All right, so we updated the strategy. Turn the key, just breathed on that key if things start right out. Get underneath it, immediate leak out the side. Trans cooler lines. Remember how I told you we were gonna change those later? Should have done it today. Anyways, there's these nice little plastic guys in there that are sealing. So we're looking at it, and I decided to come over back to our original transmission because the transmission that's in the truck had this style cooler on it. It's got some O-rings. It's more of an updated style, but my truck does not use this. It uses a different style. Anyways, this is our factory transmission. It's got little plastic guys inside here that this guy runs into, and we don't have those right now, so we need to get a pick and pull these out, get those transferred over to the transmission in the truck. So if you don't have this problem, lucky you. If you do, I just helped you figure it out.
You're good.
All right, here we are. Got the truck up on the lift. We got the lines figured out. Dale says they're nice and dry, so I'm gonna trust the word on it. We got 78, 79 degrees on the dash for trans temp. So we're gonna let her run for a little bit on here. And smells like corn. We're gonna let it run on here for a little bit, get warm, check trans temp, and then we'll go take it for a drive.
Those shifts are aggressive.
I think I got a concussion. Holy shit.
God dang. That's the hardest I've ever felt a truck shift in four-wheel drive. Usually four-wheel drive kind of kills off the... Oh my God.
Just got punched in the chest.
It was like every time someone was like hitting the back of my seat. Boom.
All right, here we are. We're gonna try and give her like full beans this time. Shifts are gonna be aggressive.
It's a trash can.
Huh? Is it?
Yeah. It was a person to be funny as fuck.
Bro, I thought that was...
Alrighty guys, so we're in the truck, and as you can see from the videos, we did a couple draggy pulls. The truck is marginally faster with the new transmission. I didn't really expect it, like a bolt-in transmission, to be faster, but I kind of expected with the shifts being a little firmer for it to be a little faster. So it is like 1/2 of a tenth of a second, which is, you could get that from temperature or anything like that. So I wouldn't say a transmission's any more doing anything any differently than the original one was, which also shows that my original one was probably pretty decent. But the transmission shifts very firm, which I'm gonna have my tuner take a couple adjustments on that one, just because daily driving it's a little bit harsher, and in sport mode it's very, very harsh. Like, we are jolting over here with the truck accelerating and shifting. So you can see that from the draggy videos. We were kind of making fun of it, and when I just took off back there, it was kind of jolting as well. I'm gonna do just like a normal 1/2 to 3/4 throttle. We're in 2-wheel drive, so I don't want to burn the tires off of it, but
Smacked my head on the
I know. So like, it's really good, but it definitely needs some modifications just to make it a little bit more like daily driver friendly and a little bit more I don't know, tolerable. Because if the shifts being hard don't make it any faster, I don't know why you'd have the shifts that hard. I will say one thing, the truck of course is still NA, but we just went and did like 6 or 7 pulls, and the transmission temp never really got above like 190. So The factory cooler does work if you're NA. Alrighty guys, so throughout this process, I had my buddy Dale help me with replacing the transmission. And let me tell you what, my boy Dale, he hardly ever worked on anything in his life, and he can still wrench, let me tell you what. So, Dale's ridden in this truck a lot because usually when I do data logs, I need someone to help me hold the laptop and all that stuff and the draggy. And so he's ridden in the truck quite a few times with the stock transmission, so he's going to give you a quick impression on what he thinks now that this thing has the Richardson Performance 10R80 in it.
All right, guys, so I absolutely love the new transmission, but I hate how hard the shifts are. I can't wait to get the tune in because I'm holding this laptop open. I'm holding it onto a phone. I'm over here just smacking my head against this damn thing. So I'm excited to get a new tune in here. I'm excited to see how fast this thing goes. And then I'm also excited to get these turbos installed pretty soon. So
good point. So we're going to close out this video. I'm very happy with the transmission. Everything's working perfectly. Those were my first wide open throttle shifts with it, and it's primo. It's a little bit firm. We're going to have 5-star work on that and maybe take a little bit of shift pressure out because it's a little excessive. But I'm really excited for things to come. I got a tuning video on this coming out for it being NA, and then in the very short future we got twin turbos going on this thing. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton so other people can find my videos. And until I see you guys next time, peace.